Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LCK matchup.
Looking for a play. If he lands this ult onto Mihail, yep, he's gonna land it. There it is, the flash on in from Kingen, and he is just so dead. Nothing that Mihail can do, even flashes, and he still dies.
This is the ultimate, you know, you've got a shot there, but he still flashes Mihail and dies regardless. So a huge win for Dplus. A lot of that gold deficit now completely shored up. Bottom lane, still a bit of a problem. Still going to be a turret potentially going down here.
Well, I'm going in, just trying to peel for aiming so he can farm the minions. But yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, this turret should be going down very, very quickly. Just one more push and they should get it, especially with DK's bottom lane backing. Yeah, so big win for Nongshim.
There's no really way they could save this. Lucid doesn't have ult, isn't here. There's backing right now. There's just nothing they can do. That's a ton of gold into the pockets of the Nila and the Senna. Also going to get this dragon. And the XP diff is really a problem here as Mom doesn't have Solar Flare, isn't going to be able to make an all-in happen. Both Jiwoo and Vital went cleanse as well, so it's really tough to actually find an angle to set something up here to defend the turret. And no answer just yet. Sylvie's coming over, but he alone I don't think is going to be enough.
Okay, they're going to engage on the Sylvie, but now Moham is here, and immediately Sylvie's like, oh crap, there's three of them. I didn't mean to get into this kind of fight, but Sylvie's just going to go down. His first blood given over, it said, actually, over there to the Kaisa, and it is going to be another kill given over to Moham, as that is just going to be 3 kills on the board now.
Great Zenith play there by Moham as well. If he walks down through the lane instead of actually coming from that brush there, it's much safer, and he might actually be able to surprise them. Instead, he just kind of walks face first into his death. They're not able to save Mihail. The great Zenith blade coming through from Moham to finish the job. The aggro of the turret is juggled pretty well. Showmaker going to deny minions and get this turret. Will not be first brick, but it will be 425 gold. Will opt in for it, but otherwise, if you don't have vision, if you don't have prio, it's very tricky. This situation, Sylvie's on this first, but definitely prio goes to Dplus. They have this TP as well, and I think Nongshim should be wary of actually looking for an engage. Jiwoo can't close the gap.
Yeah, Nongshim very split up here. They're trying to group up, and they're going to get that cleanse out of Jiwoo, but Moham in a bit of a trouble here as the Aurora ult does come down. Moham might bite the dust. Yes, he will, but Sylvie goes down as well as aiming takes him out, as now Lucid trying to disengage here. DK don't want any more, but that will be a second kill going over to Mihail on this Aurora.
Yeah, so he picks up 2. That's going to really be huge for offering a ton of damage there with that Aurora.
We're going to see the top lane turret go down, actually. Tier 1 here given over to DK. That Rift Herald getting some value.
Deep into the enemy jungle as he is now. There's playing through this top side. Here comes Fisher.
Yeah, I'm trying to go for an all-in here onto Showmaker, who will respect it. Does go for a flash, especially with Sylvie making his way up here. As the Nature's Grasp, he is under turret, but he's still killable as in goes Sylvie, and Showmaker will be taken down. It's 500 gold given over to Fisher on Zeri. As we got another fight in mid here, though, as it looks like Nila has pushed up a little bit too far. Jiwoo's going to go down. Equalizer this time.
He's picked up a ton of gold, you know, as a support who is a pseudo AD carry in this case with Fisher.
Oh, he's got aiming with him, and there goes aiming right into the back line. Takes out Fisher. There wasn't much of a backline because he was alone, so down he goes.
Yeah, they didn't know where aiming was, and he didn't have flash, so couldn't have flashed the Void Seeker. Once he's hit by that, he is definitely just dead. There's no turret to go to as Moham's going in.
Trying to go in here on a Jiwoo. They're going to get the cleanse out. And yes, the cleanse has a lot of value, but if you can...
But that is going to be the inner going down, as Dplus have just played such a great macro game here. And Nongshim have tunneled so hard on trying to get this mid turret, but have been stopped now twice. Looks like this time, the third time of asking, they will finally get this down. But the inner turret's gold is definitely more valuable. Looks like he was just going to walk straight into 4 people, but he does realize he can't take that path and takes the longer path around now. And what looked like a great Drake start for Dplus, they're now outnumbered. Showmaker is about to walk into a TP, he sees it.
Mihail's just in the backline. He's just going to be blown up immediately. Gets taken out, and now the Equalizer does a good job zoning them away. A bit of damage is now on this front line. Nongshim's still trying to fight it for some reason. They have already lost the fight. It's double kill for aiming, as now some big ones are coming out, of the poke from aiming as well as he dashes into the backline. And this could even be a penta, but it is just one guy to get away. Jiwoo, a quadra kill goes to our Gold King.
Oh man, yeah, I was trying to set up a flank angle there, but just gets collapsed on. Showmaker's denied entry, but it just doesn't matter. Now Dplus have their eyes on the Baron. Moham's already been on it for a second or two, and now the rest of the team shows up. So a big team fight win. Dragon goes over. 4 kills for aiming. And it's not just aiming who's big. The Corky is also an item ahead of this area as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like after, okay, hold up, maybe an angle here on the Showmaker.
He's just trying to turn onto Mahal, and yes, he has a lot of damage, but that is 2 guys. Make it 3 now as Fisher flashes the wall. Equalizer comes down, just kind of half-heartedly to try to peel, but that is going to be Showmaker taken down. Yeah, and that's like there hasn't really been a true team fight where Gnomestream are like, okay, Neela's going, we got Maokai, we've got all these guys.
Maybe you'll get it now.
Send ultimate over the top. Let's see it. Come on, let's do it. One time for the boys, says the root's going to come down. Equalizer, a lot of damage into Gnomestream, and that is just Baron given over to Dplus Kiaz. In goes the Aurora, and Moham is in a really rough spot, and now Mihail is able to jump over to the side, but they only get 1. As Lucid still has his flash, and he doesn't even have to use it.
Yeah, they're just too far away from the pit to actually contest. Dplus had so much control there that even though Mihail's ultimate is pretty decent in the pit there, it's just not quite enough. They get the pick onto Moham, who's left behind. He's a Leona, but they get an inner turret. Maybe they can get more here. There's a Neela ult.
Yeah, he's going to use it to Lucid, and then nearly die. Not quite the angle. I think that's just negative. Yeah, they're just waiting for the next wave, and I'm sure they will get into the positive.
They went up. I saw +6 for a second there. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, Sylvie's going to throw out an ult here, knowing that this is the push that the wave that they want to go on. But now here comes the Wombo combo. Not really going to layer it well onto Sylvie, who does get away with the Maokai Twisted retreat this time. And finally, Dplus Kia. So Gnomestream trying to create some kind of resistance, but already a little bit behind the 8 ball.
Hanging on a flank here for an equalizer setup.
All right, they're trying to engage on a Lucid as the cleanse will come out, and everybody on the side of Gnomestream just abandons ship. Just gets away, just tries to kite it out. Lucid is pretty low, and now the Aurora ultimate comes down. They catch Lucid. They catch the jungler of DK, and that is going to stop this push from coming in. Geo also going to be able to lock down a kill, but that just gives aiming another one, and now potentially the snowball to come in as everything is on fire, but Kingen maybe disrespecting the enemies now as they push forward. Gnomestream looking for more, and they're looking for the big shutdown onto aiming as he has the Zhonya's, but only the Zhonya's 1Q does a lot of damage, but it's only a trade 1-for-1, and Gnomestream are on the push.
They're on the push. They're going to look for this inhibitor at least. I mean, there's 4 members down. Kingen doesn't have ult. They might just be able to end this game. I think they can. They have a ton of damage from these champs that they have up and available. Mountain the fight. They are taking the Dragon, which is being contested by TP in live. So the Equalizer gets low value here in this fight because they just retreat super well.
I mean, they're going to take a ton of poke damage as well from aiming. They got to be careful about that. So starting a Baron is very risky. You can see already some of the health bars being chipped away. It's not just aiming, it's also Showmaker as in goes Moham. The Equalizer, again, this is not a full committal, but now aiming going to pull the trigger. Big solar flare onto that backline, but the damage was not put in. Lucid super low, and so is Moham, and so is aiming. Aiming the first one to go down. Showmaker just throws his life away in the river, and Gnomestream are just outplaying them.
That was a disastrous fight from Dplus. Very puzzling calls there. The Aurora ultimate locks down aiming, and now Lucid, the last to fall. I think maybe they'll get an inhibitor this time. Valdez off of 4 kills. Kingen once again the only one alive. The only one on Dplus with 0 deaths. He is just going to back off here. Now, they don't have a wave to push through in mid, so instead they're just going to go to top lane. Remember, they still have those 6 grubs from earlier. They're making quick work of these turrets. They should be able to turn this into an inhibitor, maybe even more.
I think without Baron, it's going to be difficult.
But they could just kite down towards the mid inhibitor, worst case scenario. But I mean, look at this. With 6 grubs, they can definitely push the issue. I mean, Showmaker's not up for 13, aiming for 10. I think they just end.
Yeah, they just have to push potential, enough minions, and not enough Dplus.
Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LCK matchups.
And if they get 5 on this Tristana and aside, I've already talked about what this is strong at doing. So much this game, but almost so much this season.
All right, here's the fight. He catches 2, and Lucid just going to be burnt down 100-0. The Aurora ult comes in, but now Kingen is alone. They try to turn out to him. He's going to be forced to flash away. It's a pretty big win here for Gnomestream. They want to go for a bit more as the ult's just not the prediction they were looking for. And meanwhile, DK are just taking the objective.
So they end up with an additional grub there. Not going to be the 5 they wanted. Still pretty significant. They're able to get that 1. This is going to be good in the side, but it's just great engages. Meanwhile, speaking of engages.
Yeah, just going on in. Lucid here once again, but now Moham's just going to be torn apart. Aiming doesn't do damage yet. I mean, he just got his Triforce, and he's still not able to cut through the Sejuani or the Cassante.
Decision making here for Dplus, because we get to the late game, and you end up going forward like that and making a poor choice. When Lucid is playing Ivern, he gets punished. You're playing into a Kaisa, very strong punish comp here for Nongshim. Then you can end up losing the game again and going 0-2 here to Nongshim. They play a little bit more, slowly, a little bit more carefully. Does feel like they have the better comp in this one, as Fisher is...
all right.
Vital's here,
okay.
Too.
He's really trying to clear the wave, I guess, to
He
not
did.
get dove. Well, he's still in a lot of trouble here, but now he doesn't have his ult, and he's just going to be CC'd 100-0. It does take quite a while, but it's still a kill given over to the Corki. Meanwhile, though, DK pushing in mid. They're going to get this tier 1 and maybe a bit more.
Yeah, putting the extra charge through here for Lucid. No one there for the punish. Tristana also pushing in the top side, so... every action you make in League of Legends has an equal and opposite reaction, but in this case, two opposite reactions. I'm going to clear this wave, keep pushing, and even though he dies there, buys a significant amount of time, pulls all those resources down, and it's a huge win for Dplus. So we'll get the second dragon. Oh, it's Infernal. Lost map out of it this time with the heavy commitment by Nongshim, but still, nonetheless, pretty good.
Moham's just kind of running through the dark jungle here. He is going to get a big heal in a moment, as now the counter engage does come in. Geo in a bit of trouble, has to flash away. Now trying to get on top of Moham. Meanwhile, we got a fight up the left here. Kingen getting very low. He is going to be pulled in and nearly taken down. A lot of low health bars here. Gnomesim trying to run away now, as Showmaker and Aiming with the Ivern are still very scary.
Unable to clean anything up here, and this is just a Tristana unlocked to do more damage to turret. That is what she is doing in this game, pushing lanes and taking out turrets. Moham is denying any flanks here, as Mihail's going to try to go in.
Yeah, we got a
Fisher.
Flank here from a Corki. I don't know about this, as the Solar Flare is going to miss another roll. Comes on in, right on top of the Tristana. They're going to catch DK with their pants down. Is now Aiming in a bit of trouble, but he does have the Ivern to help him out. Moham going to get a little bit of help from Daisy, and now Kingen makes his way over and should be able to zone them away, but it's a kill over to Gnomesim. Still, DK have 0 kills in this game. They're looking for their first one, and they might get it here as Vital will finally go down. Mihail is just going to run away from this one, but he can't get away from the Ezreal, as Aiming picks up the double.
You can take out Showmaker, but there's another 80 carry there, and the health bars are so low after Kingen's ult that it's easy cleanup. And Sylvie, this is greedy.
Well, if they just assume they're not there, maybe they're not there. But they were there, it turns out, as Aiming going to pick up another kill. Make it 3.
Well, this is suddenly a disaster, because it looked so good for Nongshim on the pick, but unfortunately this leveling in frustration after the failed chase down there. When you get Aiming sums, that's a big win. That's going to be something that's valuable for the next fight, the next skirmish. I mean, Dragon's up in 30 seconds here. They had just been happy with that and backed away. It still feel like a win, but they really wanted more. As Kingen is with the ult at the ready here. He's respected.
And he mentioned that we actually don't have Moonstone here for Lucid. He went for Mikhail's, which... I mean, Aiming's got cleanse, but Showmaker doesn't, so you can cleanse the Sejuani ult, yes, but as Ox mentioned before, the Rel a little bit more difficult to handle, and they don't have Moonstone, so now it's just going to be Kingen dying. This has been more and more side lane pressure from Nongshim. They're going to get another kill here, and now maybe threaten Baron.
Yeah, it's Operation Kill Side Laner. Specifically, laner in top lane has been the game plan for Nongshim, and as Baron is up, like you say, this pick leads to an opportunity here. Teleport coming through from Mihail onto this ward. Try to keep them at bay. Showmaker is going to TP in, but it's very late.
Yeah, it's very late. He didn't want to commit to it. This is just a free Baron given over to them. Lucid cannot get into the pit, and now they're trying to engage here. 5v4 Arnox, and the knockdown comes in, and down goes Leona. Down falls the Ivern. And Showmaker and Aiming, the 280 carries are left alone. Trying to get some miraculous play here. They might be able to, but it's just a bit of poke, and that is it. Nongshim will look to back away with 5 members worth of Baron.
It's a decisive call from Nongshim, but the answer from Dplus is anything but. Showmaker doesn't want to commit, doesn't want to come over. They've been. It's kind of a shock to see them kind of run Dplus around the map like this, and Dplus being so indecisive means they're also going to potentially lose this inner. They will.
Yeah. I mean, this is a little bit of what we saw in game 1 as well. You know, when the pressure came on, it was just Noshim who had better team fighting by the end of it all, and they were able to utilize their carries to expect it. They're like, this team doesn't know how to play late game. They don't know how to macro as well as us, and they're just proving everybody wrong.
Before this dragon spawns, they're going to look for those backs, looking for the LDR.
He's backing on a ward.
Or Sorrel does, excuse me.
He's going to scan it. So Moham is going to be engaged on here as, yeah, just a bit of an issue, not respecting the wardage, and the rest of the team is like, man, we can't help you. That's just Moham down, and it might just be the dragon surrendered to Noshim.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no trade for Baron here, as the Baron is 20 seconds behind. It's going to be really tough to actually pull that one off. So they have this wave pushed in. I guess the idea there for Moham was like, there's no way they're all on Dragon, right? Because it's way too early. They're not going to be in this area. But you didn't have vision, and no one was showing inside. So you have to assume, where are they? And he's just way too far out. Now, Dplus pushing towards control of the Baron right now, but Noshim have a comp that could rush this down relatively quickly and then come over to punish. I feel like the options here for Dplus are just super limited. Moham has respawned. He is rushing back into the mid lane here, but punishing this with no brush setup here for the Ivern is just going to be so tricky, and I just don't think he can pull it off. They're going to send Showmaker to try to take out that inner turret and top. That was a nice try. But now Noshim are like, cool, we defend this turret, and we set up for the Baron contest.
We'll see if they can defend this as the satchel does go off. Well, that's a different champion, but now Kingen just kind of running through the jungle once again, and there is a sneaky Cassante in the jungle, and they just ran through the dark jungle, as now Showmaker has to flash to get away, and again, Noshim are up a man here going into Baron.
Yeah, no Kingen ult for this fight is massive, and aiming doesn't have brush set up towards the objective. They have to try to leap forward slowly and carefully. Watch those arcane shift saving. I don't want to see you going in. You're going to have to hit some Qs, and hitting him into Mihail is not necessarily what you want.
It's just so much pressure on aiming. He's the only carry. Like, if he gets caught, I don't even blame him. The team has just put him in such a rough spot at Noshim.
Vital's flank angle.
Yeah, Vital's got a flank. Jiu's got a flank. They're closing in. They've got a concave. And they have pressure on this Baron.
Kingen has TP, but doesn't have ult.
Oh, trying to get it here on top of Jiu. He'll just dash away. This is going to be Baron over to Noshim, as now we do have Vital coming in from behind, but he goes in alone. The rest of the team is just abandoning ship. They're just getting away. And it's another Baron given over to Noshim.
Kingen's here.
Not quite able to lock them down. Mihail is, well, he's going to get redemptions, and the disengage cone comes in and denies us any action. So Noshim, they playoffs are really still trying to figure out what's going on, or having other issues in the case of T1. And I mean, now we're just going to get another pick here on Elucid. It's just free, and
literally free.
It's just free. A couple of ults, I guess. And we got some exciting here at this point in time, although the damage is traded back.
I mean, he has Warmogs, though, so as long as he can just stay out of combat for a minute here, it's all going to get healed up.
There it goes.
You can see, he doesn't get hit by the True Shot. Aiming is trying to stop his Warmogs heal, and he's going to lose half his health bar.
Yeah, the True Shot barrage, I think it hit Mihail. He's still got full health.
Vital on the flank, too. He's just constantly threatening. They see him, but it doesn't mean that they can't, I mean, they can't walk up still. They know he's there, so they can't actually
Look at the damage. Look at the damage on the Baron. They don't have any vision. They don't have any way in, and now Vital is just going to kind of send an engage. It's not a good one. He will go down. It's 5v4. In goes the Aurora, but immediately just gets ripped to shreds, but Mihail very low. In goes Siwu, assassinates him, but now is in a rough spot. Might have to go down here, as it is 4v1, just throws a Q in, and now DK are on the push.
It might be a game 3, Valdez. I think this was a huge error of judgment from Noshim. They did the same play on the Baron last time, except they sacrificed Vital and walked away. This time they were like, okay, we go in on this engage, and it was not the right call. Kingen gets huge value, and Dplus are looking to end.
I don't think it's over. They have Baron. They have a lot of waves there with the Corki. They're trying to, at least Fisher's trying to trade. That's not what you want to do, as he will be pushed all the way back to his inhibitor, or rather his fountain. But yeah, with the Baron buff, I think Noshim can hold on. Noshim will have to get more clean engages, not like the last fight.
Yeah, Vital is not able to get that flank angle. Again, with map control, he can set up those cool flanks for them to start Baron. He's going to maybe try to look for this wraparound here on this Infernal Dragon, but I think it's just too risky. He has no vision there on the left side of the pit. They're just going to use Mihail as a wall.
Yeah, I mean, he's tanky, but at the end of the day, we're in the late game with W8D carry comps. Will DK get in is the question as it goes to Ezreal! Aiming, he steals the Infernal Soul for DK. From 1180 to 594, which got it in range for the Q. And it all happened so fast that, you know, Moham, though, he's in a lot of trouble again. He has to flash. This ult's not going to be great as Moham is very low, but now we got Mihail in the ult here, and Kingen has to flash away. Jew is on the hunt. He's going to take him down, but again, in a rough spot is now Vital, just being kited out. A lot of damage coming in from Fisher, but look at aiming on the top side of the fight. He will be the one who carries alongside of Lucid and Showmaker. As Mihail goes in, he will take a Moham, and actually does take this wave with him. Kazante is crazy, but not as crazy as Ezreal in the late game, and that might be the final nail in the coffin.
Looks like it. Sylvie gonna try to clear this wave, tossing in his smite, but he knows this one is definitely out of his hands. Speaking of hands, Mihail putting his hands on his head after trying to clear the wave. He wants to come in here and get these low health minions.
I mean, they know he's here, but it's the only choice for Sylvie. He does get the smite, but there's one left. And that will do it for this game. They can just tank it up with Iron Shields. They have Tristana and Ezreal. You've got W's, you've got explosions, and down will go the Nexus. Dplus Kia Force 8.
Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LCK matchup.
With the bottom side control of the lane, we'll be able to get this dragon. It's traded, of course, for all three grubs top side with the Aurora controlling the top lane. And this happened last time we had Aurora.
Question him though, you know?
No, he's got the restraint required.
Yeah. He's not just about his number, he's more about the gap between the numbers. He likes when the production puts him at the top and the AD carry at the bottom of the other team. And Showmaker in a lot of pressure here, and that's just going to be first blood. Sylvie able to dive under the turret and take him down. Now Lucid is here. We got a roam coming in from Kingen. Fisher pretty low. Not sure if he's going to be able to help without Divide as well. Sylvie does have his bottom lane coming on over, as this is going to get pretty risky, I would say, as the ult is going to come down here from Kingen. Holds them all in play as the True Shot Barrage does an insane amount of damage. And that is just going to be a double kill over to Lucid and a bonus kill for Kingen.
Yeah, this was a good idea in terms of catching... Adult
what kind of cage? See, adult cage is kind of, I don't really like that either. As now they're just trying to gank gaming, but Moham was here, so now turning into a bit of a 2-on-2.
How about the champion cage?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah,
sounds better. We got a TP coming in here.
Kill top side laner. Go.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the 1v1, feels pretty good for Fisher, as now, again, Flash available for Showmaker. Sentinel's coming in. There's the Flash, and he still gets taken out. And Fisher didn't even need Sylvie.
Nope. That was actually so clean, and the angle for Jiwoo's ult, predicting exactly where the jump would land, was so beautiful to watch.
Vital,
now he's in trouble, though.
Or Vital, yeah, the Senna player. Understandable confusion there.
They can't be supports playing Senna. That was never a thing while I was a caster.
Yeah. Times change. Well, now the cage is going to miss, and Fisher gets out, but this push from DK is very good. But how about the turn coming out from Notion? Geo keeps them around. The TP comes in from Mihail, as everybody is so low. Geo will dodge the True Shot Barrage. Kingen makes his way over as well, but it's just a kill lockdown for Vital on the Senna.
Yeah, this is starting to get a little bit shaky, as Showmaker here just does not expect this Azir to show up. The ult comes out first, and then he, after the rocket jump, is able to easily get the divide, and that's that Vital ult I was talking about, although I did incorrectly say.
See if we can see any big Mega Cone engages as well. I feel like you'll definitely see it out of a Gnar, out of a Sejuani, trapped in the cage here is Jiwoo, who's taking a ton of damage and has to cleanse, but it's Ezreal, and aiming just shuts that down. Jiwoo with no sums outside of the cleanse, it's not enough to get him away.
Yep. And that's a good pick. And weirdly enough, Aurora, because her ultimate range is just so turret, it doesn't matter. The damage has been done.
Aiming. Simple cleanse, but it's still a tier 1 that's taken by Notion. Kind of, we didn't really see the setup for that, but it was only aiming under the turret, probably just trying to get the advantage after the
Dragon and Chemtech Soul Point. They absolutely don't need that. Meow's just going to side lane, start to farm up a little bit. We'll get his first item off of this back. And the Azir is also going to be a very strong scaling champion. We talked about it could have been double AD carry. He had a rough start to the laning phase, but has otherwise been kind of the main counter map cross map, get the bottom turret here. So good macro here from Nongshim in this neutral game where not a whole lot is happening. They give up the objective, they give up the Chemtech Dragon, but they're going to get this turret here. They're actually going to get both ultimately. See how well they defend the Herald.
Yeah, they just feel like they can't really, especially with 2 of their guys out on the map, but it's 2 turrets for 1. Yes, DK did get the middle tier 1, which is more valuable. As that is, yep, he's invisible, and now he's not. Geo just going to flash to get away, and thankfully he has that flash this time. But now Meganar coming on in. King and no ult available. Mihail is very much alone, though, so not really able to keep anyone around and interested.
Yeah, there's not really much he can do. It was a nice idea there. Didn't teleport forward either, and it's kind of greedy to stay bottom and continue to push into that inner because it was at full health. They'll take the 2 turrets here for Geo's flash basically in the mid turret.
Seems to really just stand there, and that's going to give them a chance now with 6 Void Grubs to hit the inner of the mid lane, as now the Neil ultimate is going to lock Boham in place, but he is Rel. Will he be tanky enough? The answer is no, as now we still have the flash ult engaged from Sylvie, and now a massive divide comes in from Fisher, catches 2 of them, forces so many of these ultimates to come out, but now we got the huge cage coming on down. Mihail looking for the engage, and he gets it on the 3, but the damage not quite coming through just yet for Nongshim. Finally they get 1 in the trade, but Aiming and Kingen still alive on the backside.
Yeah, that was a very, very close fight there.
Wow, to hit that soul mark, or the soul point mark in this case. Nongshim, looks like they do want to fight it. I mean, at this point, I feel like both teams wouldn't be too sad to go for a fight. Mihail is about to hit his Meganar.
Could be denied here. Huge play from Mihail, who now has his Narbar set, and Kingen's out of the fight for now.
Yeah, he could just, you know, zone Kingen away. They do not really have Kingen for now, but now the Maokai ultimate is going to be coming in. Sylvie does dodge it. He is on top of this. It is just a flip, and it goes to Lucid. As the smite not there for Sylvie once again. We get a big sweep on the disengage, but this two-shot barrage into the Aurora ult is just disgusting. As now the damage is coming through. Fisher will fall, the Nila will fall, and DK are looking for more. Kingen with that mobility is going to find Vital, gives the kill over to Showmaker. That's 3, and the Drake to DK.
I mean, they kept Kingen out of the fight over its lights out, and Nongshim now significantly behind, but that's before this Baron goes over. Talked about the mid-inner already being down. There's some standing gold they can grab off of the top turret.
Yeah. I'm just glad that this very strong, almost overpowered champion is finally finding more success in the LCK, because this is what makes sense, I would say.
When you have a comp that makes sense for it, I feel like it looks really good. When you pick it for the tier list and then you don't build around it, it looks rough. I mean, not rough, but less good.
Yeah.
It still looks pretty good.
That's the thing. I mean, it's still a very good champ. Dplus, very big Red Bull Baron power play at this point. Mihail is getting some bonus gold in the bottom lane.
Actually, he has, but he's starting to become a late game threat, as was the case in game 1. It's just keeping this Aurora at bay is so tough, and he's about to have death cap. That's the biggest problem, and they don't have map control, obviously, because they're facing this Baron for 30 more seconds, as Mihail may get punished as well as this Gnar expires.
Yeah, the timing of this is really rough for Mihail, and Showmaker really does want to make the most of this, as he will be forced to flash away, but Showmaker has his own flash. Not going to force the issue, as he knows, you know, take the little bonus win. You don't have to go crazy and try to chase Mihail all over around the map.
Line for him, and he has the Oblivion Orb, and the Dplus are like, okay, no Narbar, no vision, we're going for this. The Senna ult will reveal the timing. This is a good angle for Nongshim.
Yeah,
the Maokai ult.
The Maokai ultimate just denies Sylvie, throws in an ult, but the damage is not there. He gets knocked away by Showmaker as well, and now everybody is in the Aurora ult. It is just a crazy team fight. Nila will go down. Some big ultimates coming in from the Gnar and the Azir. Fisher's still alive, but he eventually does fall. And that is one of the big pillars of Nongshim right now. DK, they take down the Baron. They take a nice turn fight afterwards. And Vital's just hitting the minions, trying to stop this game from ending.
Yeah, just going to try to clear this wave. I feel like if the game state was much closer, that actually could have been a winnable fight for Nongshim. The Buster Shot is fantastic. Guarantees there's nothing Sylvie could do. Maokai ult into Buster Shot means no steal, guaranteed Baron. And yes, great Gnar coming through from Mihail. Fisher's ult was awesome as well, but Geo was taken out of the fight early, and Vital can only do so much. And I think Dplus still likely end off of this top wave. No way to defend without Fisher. 20 seconds on the Azir.
Yeah, they just don't really have wave clear with these two specifically, especially against the Baron. And that should be enough to get the job done, as the Nexus is open. Miles going in. He's got a Meganar. He only hits aiming, and he's just being chunked by that very man himself. As Sylvie also going to be locked in. Fisher trying his best. They are desperate, but it is not going to happen. Dplus Kia, they do get across the line.
These were the best highlights from today's LCK matchup. Click that subscribe button faster than Ramus can say,
Okay.
see you on the next one.